This is regarding Fourier series, and the general formula for Fourier series is f of x is equals to a naught by 2 and summation of an cos n pi by l x plus summation of bn sin n by l into x. So where to find an and a naught and bn, we have to use this formula. A naught is equals to 1 by l, and the limits are from c to c plus 2l f of x into dx. Similarly, an and bn, where an always deals with cos and bn deals with sin. An and bn dealing with sin and cos will help in finding out half range cosine and sine series, where any questions regarding cosine series is related to an, and sine series is related to bn. And this is regarding the general formula, and it is used when odd or even function is not determined. That means neither odd nor even comes, then we can use the general formula, or else starting directly we can apply general formula for specified sums. And for another sums we got to do with odd or even function, and then we can apply general formula if neither odd or neither nor even proves. So if odd or even proved, then we can go with odd or even function. So this is a point of end point formula, where this is used after deriving the equation. At lastly while simplification, we got to use this. And there is one more formula called point of discontinuity. And one more thing here is to find out the L value which is required here and everywhere. The L value is found out using 2L is equals to UL minus LL. UL means upper limit and LL means lower limit. We got to minus the upper limit from lower limit, and then we can divide by 2. Shift this 2 to this side, then we got to divide it and we'll get the L value. So next we are gonna deal with the odd or even function. And in odd or even function, we got to have two methods. The intervals defines which method we got to use. And in first method or first case, we can call it, in first case the limits or the intervals means upper and lower limits, and the limits will be something like this: 0, 2l. And in other second case, the limits will be minus l comma l. So seeing the limits, we got to apply. And for the first case, for limits or intervals 0 comma 2l, we got to apply this formula: f of 2l minus x should be equals to f of x. Then it will be a even function. And the same formula, whatever we are applying, f of 2l minus x is applied, is solved. And if you get minus f of x, then it's called an odd function. So after defining odd or even function, we can apply odd or even function formula, and we can get the last answer. So or else this 0 comma 2l 0 comma 2l may be sometimes splitted as 0 to L, 0 comma L, and L comma 2L. That may be defined like this: f of x, where intervals f of x is defined as phi of x 0 to L, between lies the x, and next L to 2L. So totally what happened, 0 to 2L is splitted into two halves. Upper half and lower half. So if it comes in this way, we got to solve using this formula, that is phi of 2l minus the same thing what we are applying, 2l minus x. Phi of 2l minus x should be psi of x, and phi of 2l minus x should be minus phi of f in case of odd function. This is in case of even function. So after defining this, we got to have another method, that is the intervals or the limits may be like this: minus l comma l. If the limits are like this, minus l comma l, then it's very simple. F of minus x should be equal to f of x for even function, and f of minus x should be equals to minus minus f of x in case of odd function, or else the same thing L comma L may be splitted as L minus L comma L is splitted into minus L to 0, minus L lesser than x which is lesser than 0 and 0 lesser than x which is less than L. So minus L comma L is divided. I mean, as the first case it is divided here like this. 0 comma 2L is divided in the same way. It is divided as minus L comma L is divided as L to 0 minus L to 0 and 0 to L. So in this case the same formula, the same method applies here. Psi of minus x should be equal to phi of x, and phi of minus x should be equal to minus psi of x in case of odd and in case of even. And even function, if solving after this, if we determine it as even, if we determine if we got even function, then we got to use this formula, that is bn is equals to 0. We got to write it directly, bn is equals to 0, and then we can apply an as 2l minus 0, and our limits are 0 to l f of x dx, and this is with regard to a0, and an is 2l by 2 and 0 to l f of x cos n pi by l into x dx. So finally the equation becomes f of x is equals to a0 by 2, that is a0, and summation of an, we will get an here, and cos n phi by l into x. So if we determine it as odd function, then an as well as a0 becomes 0. I mean, these two terms becomes 0. We can find it in general equation, that is, see the same thing in which bn is termed as 0. So we have neglected the bn here. We have neglected the second term, and we have written only the first term. Only the first term in case of even function, that is a0 by 2 plus summation of an cos n pi by l into x. So for odd function a0 and an is 0, that means this term and these terms are 0, then the remaining term is this one, summation of bn sin n pi by l into x. The same thing I have written here, summation of bn into sin n pi by lx. So for finding the bn, we got to use this formula, 2 by l, 0 to l cos f 0 to l f of x sin n pi by l into x dx. And the difference between an even and odd function and the general method comes here. That means while finding a0, an and bn, here we have a different formula. That is, when it comes to general formula, an is defined as 1 by l, that is 1 by l, and the limits are c to c plus 2l. And here the same thing a0 is defined by 2 by l in case of odd or even function, 2 by l. See, the same thing is repeated, 2 by l here, as well as for an, as well as for bn, 2 by l. But in general method it is 1 by l, and the limits are c to c plus 2l, and here the limits are 0 to l, 0 to l, and 0 to l. So that's how we can find the odd or even function. And after finding the odd or even function, let me show you an example. So here in this third problem, the limits are 0 to 2 pi. The limits are 0 to 2 pi, similar to case 1, that is 0 to 2l, that is 2 pi. And using this we got to solve. We can find odd or even function using the first method. That is f of 2l minus x is equals to f of x, or f of 2l minus x is equals to minus f of x. If it is f of x, then even, minus f of x, then it is odd. So similarly we can apply it for other sums and we can solve it. Thank you.